This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Good morning. Welcome to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. As part of Circle City Broadcasting's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, this show speaks directly to entrepreneurs to help educate, inform, and offer necessary information about developing skills you'll need to start and run a successful small business. Unlike any other show in the market, here the information comes straight from successful business owners and community leaders who actually live here, work here, and have vested interests in this community. Our goal is to provide useful and compelling content that focuses on diversity, equity, and opportunities. Each of the show's 7 segments are designed to cover the important and often misunderstood topics that you'll face when you start a small business. Every week, we get a look at getting your business started, options to access the necessary capital you'll need, accounting and bookkeeping details, running your business day to day, keeping on top of the week in business, and as a final dose of inspiration, we include a local success story. You can watch the show right here each week or catch the live stream on wishtv.com. Plus, you can access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. Our site will keep growing as the weeks go on with new content and additional resource information. We encourage you to sign up for our newsletter, which is updated every Tuesday. And new this week, we're launching the BEO podcast. Be sure to check it out and subscribe so you won't miss a minute of content. Coming up on today's Business, Equity, and Opportunities, we hear from various business owners about the importance of giving back to their local communities in running your business day to day. In our Access to Capital segment, we hear about alternative ways to finance your startup, from credit cards to microloans. We focus on logistics companies in our industry focus. One of the best in the country is a woman-owned company right here in Indianapolis. We begin with our first topic, getting started. Each week this segment focuses on the planning and preparation you need to consider from the very beginning to get your business started on a path for success. Today we look at the many benefits that can come with being certified as a minority or women-owned business and just how you qualify.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
David Fredricks, the director of the Office of Minority and Women Business Development, explains what it means to be certified and why having proper certification can mean big opportunities for your company.
The Office of Minority and Women Business Development was established in 1987. Our office is the certifying entity for the city of Indianapolis. So if you are a minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned business enterprise, and you want to be certified by the city of Indianapolis in order to participate in city-funded opportunities as well as city-supported opportunities, then our office is where you would come to get that certification. Any business that is domiciled and headquartered here in the state of Indiana is able to be certified with us. We do require that businesses be in business for at least 2 years, but if there is a particular business that is in a specific industry or they have an immediate opportunity, we do have a waiver process that they can apply for to not have to worry about the 2 years of business. But primarily, as long as your business is headquartered and domiciled here in the state of Indiana, and you fit into one of those categories, whether minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned business enterprise, then you can get certified through our office. We are a big supporter of Indiana businesses first, and so we are trying our best to engage with as many diverse businesses in Indiana, specifically Indianapolis, but we also know that there are some businesses outside of Indiana that want to do business in the city of Indianapolis. So our job is to assist them to get certified, but then also, like I said, to learn how to navigate the processes of doing business with the city, doing business with the state, and then doing businesses with some of the other agencies and entities that report to the city. On our website, we have a list of all of our certified diverse companies. Right now, we have over 800 certified companies in the city of Indianapolis. And so we constantly update that list. We actually update it on a monthly basis. And that list is there for public consumption. So if you are a business owner or an individual looking to support minority and diverse businesses, you can go to that website and pull up the list and see the companies, and you can search based on industry. If you're looking for a minority-owned business or a women-owned business or veteran and so forth, you can search through all those different mechanisms to identify business. But that list is there for the public to be able to utilize, and we hope that they reach out to some of those businesses as well. And also the other businesses. I mean, that's one of the things that we push is B2B, business to business, where we have a lot of diverse businesses who do business with other diverse businesses, and that's a good way for someone who's a small business to start off and to hopefully help them grow. Because a lot of people think that you have to pay to be certified. There is no fee to be certified with the City of Indianapolis. If you ever run into someone or someone tells you that you have to pay a fee to be certified, then you may want to speak to someone else, and that's why we tell folks to reach out to us directly. Your certification is good for 3 years, so you have to apply for recertification every 3 years. We generally will reach out to companies usually about 90 days before their certification is set to expire, and we just say, hey, just a reminder, your certification is set to expire, and then you probably will get another reminder as you get closer to that 30-day window, so to speak. But yeah, certification is good for 3 years, and then you have to recertify. We work with businesses that everything from that brand new mom and pop shop where, you know, they just opened up a small business, all the way to companies that are multi-million-dollar businesses. And so we provide services that sort of run the gamut for those businesses. Some folks need everything. They're coming in the door, they just started their business. We get them certified, but then we help them with those other pieces of the puzzle to make them successful. Other businesses come in and they've been established and running for 15, 20 years. They just want to make sure that their certification is good, and if we can do any introductions and connect them to the right people. So there are a lot of things that we can offer to businesses in different sizes and different scopes. There's going to be a lot of opportunities coming through the city over the next 3 to 4 years. We have a lot of federal dollars that are going to be hitting the city. So we're encouraging folks to get certified with us now so that they can be in that process and be a part of those conversations. Certification in our office can take up to 90 days. We don't run close to 90 days. We're actually, more about 60 days, but we want folks to get certified early before they need it. One of the things we see a lot of is folks who are putting on a bid, or they may be asked to put in a bid on a project and they're not certified. And that contractor says to them, well, we need you to get certified. So then they rush to us to do a certification, and we don't do expedited certification process. So, depending on where you fall in line, you could be waiting that 90 days to get certified. And so that's why we tell folks, sort of think from a strategic standpoint, what business opportunities am I going to be going for over the next, say, 12 months? And if any of those are projects where certification is required, or there's a diversity goal, you want to make sure that you've came in and done your certification. And then that not only stands for new certification, but also recertification as well, because we have a lot of companies that are currently certified with us, and they have to be recertified every 3 years. They also have to do that in a timely manner as well. Certification for diverse businesses is extremely important. So one of the questions we often get is, why do I need to get certified? Couple of things. One, it serves as evidence to not only the city, but also to the business community as a whole, that you are serious as a business owner. You've been vetted and certified that your business does what it is you say that you do, that you have the capabilities and the resources to be able to complete a job on time. And so certification is keenly important. Here in Indianapolis now, as with any other city in the U.S., has been grappling with diversity and equity. For us, the mayor's office on down to our office is totally committed to making sure that we're creating equitable opportunities for all businesses. And so making sure that diverse companies are certified, is a key to that, because like I said, we're only able to work with those companies that are certified through our office. And so that's one reason why it's important. Plus it also helps to diversify the fabric of Indianapolis. You know, Indianapolis has some phenomenal people of all different racial and ethnic backgrounds, and we're continuing to welcome new people to Indianapolis who are bringing their resources and talents. And a lot of them are starting up new businesses. And so we want to engage with those individuals as much as possible and let them know that our office is here as a resource, and we want to help them to grow and then hopefully, you know, settle down and establish an economic foothold in the city of Indianapolis.
If you'd like more information about how to get your company certified, be sure to visit us online at beoshow.com. When we come back, from credit cards to microloans, there are many non-traditional ways to access capital. Later, we find out about the economic impact that the state fair brings to small businesses. If you have any questions or would like to be part of our show, please email us at beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. This is Business Equity and Opportunities, and we'll be right back.
Getting Started, made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Each week in our Access to Capital segment, we provide tips and explore opportunities to help entrepreneurs in the quest to find money for a startup. This week we look at the more non-traditional ways that many small businesses solve their short-term financial needs.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to Capital.
Keith Richey, financial manager for Fifth Third Bank in Carmel, has been helping business owners get their businesses on the right track for years. Here, he talks about the use of business credit cards and introduces us to a nonprofit second look small business lender that you may want to look into.
Credit cards are a good tool for convenience to allow a business owner to be able to pay his vendors, to buy materials, to buy supplies in a convenient way, and also possibly earning rewards, which is a minor thing, but they can earn a little bit of rewards to pay them back too. If you're doing online purchases, you can make a payment with credit card. The thing I like about credit cards is that you're not exposing your bank checking account. You're using the bank's money, not your money, for a temporary purpose. So by using the bank's money, your checking account's not exposed to fraud or somebody getting a hold of the number. We're seeing a lot more fraud and checking accounts, and a lot of times you'll have a lot of things attached to that checking account. So if you do have some event where there's fraud on that account, then you've got to unwind that, open a new account. There's a lot involved in that. So by using a credit card, you're able to use the bank's money, you're shielding your checking account from those purchases and exposure, and you're exposing the credit card, which then if there's fraud on that credit card, it's easy to shut that down and open a new one is a much easier process. On a business credit card, we do like to see businesses established for 2 years before we establish a credit card for them. We're wanting to see that business get established before we start loading them up, or they might get themselves in trouble with a debt situation. And a small business, the business owner, most of the time, unless it's a partnership or there's others involved, but most of the time, the businesses that I deal with, the business owner is the business. So it is good for accounting purposes to keep those transactions separated, but the business owner loaning himself money to get that business started happens a lot. That's where it starts at. You know, you have to have skin in the game, so to speak. So you want to have that business owner with a healthy capital influx, whether he gets that capital influx by maybe establishing a home equity line of credit on for himself or some type of line of credit personally, and then he's lending that money to the business in a transaction. So that's an actual transaction that can be tracked back so that he's giving this capital influx in to get that business up and running and off the ground. Sometimes maybe that happens with other family members too that want to invest in your business idea. They like what you're doing, they like what you're establishing, and they've got some money that they can invest in you also. And that helps your business get off the ground too. So family and personal finances into the business happen a lot. We do have an organization that we partner with called Bankable, and Bankable has been established by Indiana banks to help businesses that don't qualify for traditional funding, to help them get qualified for funding so that then they can come back to the bank and get traditional bank funding. So if someone maybe hasn't been in business long enough, or if maybe they have some challenges on their credit, which brings up another good point about personal credit and qualifications, and your personal credit is so critical. If your personal credit's struggling, then your business credit is definitely going to be struggling, because it all reflects back that you are the business. So we're going to look at you as the business just as much. So we want to make sure that you qualify credit-wise. So if you don't, then we look at Bankable as a good alternative, and they've been a good resource for us to refer people back to get some capital needs, or possibly inventory, or real estate purchase. They've got 4 different programs specifically designed. One of them is for black-owned businesses. They work with black-owned businesses that they do a really good job with, and also they work with the SBA, and they have a great program. We also have programs within our bank itself that we utilize, that we try to make sure that we help everybody we possibly can to get funding on their small business to get up and running. It really is a rewarding feeling when you help someone that's got an idea and they come into you and they need some funding, and you can help them get financed. And to watch them grow over the years has been very rewarding. To see people that have actually come back 2, 3, 4 years later, and they've built up this nice business for their family, and they're really helping the community.
As you look to access capital, if you'd like more information about Bankable or any of today's segments, be sure to visit us online, beoshow.com. While you're there, sign up for our newsletter for more resources. Up next, This Week in Business, we visit the Indiana State Fair and find out how local small businesses are benefiting. I'm Scott Sanders. Thanks for watching this encore presentation of Business Equity and Opportunities. We hope you've learned some tips that'll help you start or grow your own business. If you'd like to catch up on past episodes or segments, watch us here every weekday or visit us at beoshow.com. And don't forget, new episodes of Business Equity and Opportunities air every Sunday morning on Wish TV, or you can stream it live at wishtv.com. Fuel your entrepreneurial spirit. Watch Business Equity and Opportunities from Wish TV.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. August in Indiana equals State Fair time. The historic fairgrounds first opened back in 1892. It's been home to the State Fair since then. It's also, increasingly, a place to find a variety of small homegrown businesses.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
The Indiana State Fair, underway this week at the fairgrounds, offers many opportunities to sample and support a variety of local businesses. We caught up with Executive Director for the Indiana State Fair Commission, Cindy Hoye, to find out more in This Week in Business.
Terrific. I mean, we are under construction with the Indiana Farm Bureau Fall Creek Pavilion. And so steel is going up on a brand new building while this great event, the great Indiana State Fair, is happening. And really happy people, seem to be in great spirits and just enjoying their state fair. As you look around the property, you'll see that people want to be with their families and their friends. Perfect place to do that. Just go back to some semblance of what they've always known and loved, and it's kind of back to normal. This is a historic institution, 250 acres in the center of Indianapolis. This generates over $200 million in direct impact. And the fair itself is about $35 million in direct impact. So this institution also is responsible for generating over 1,100 jobs because of this place and this event and events that happen here throughout the year. So its stature is significant as it gives back to the economy. Most of the vendors that are here, concessionaires and then vendors that are in the Ag Court building this year, they're for the most part local. They're from southern Indiana to northern Indiana. Now, yes, we sprinkle in a couple that are from other states, but for the most part, this is small Indiana businesses that are represented here during the state fair. We're really proud of that. You can see it throughout the complex when you come here. I think one of the most significant areas in the Ag Court building, there's an area called Indiana Grown, and that is through the Department of Agriculture, and that's small Indiana businesses that are tied into agriculture. Again, the concessionaires throughout the fairgrounds, a lot of those are local. One of significance is a woman-owned business, Monica Urich. She operates the stand that is right behind me. She operates the wine and beer garden, the tap room, the backyard, which is a brand new area. So not only does she do that during the state fair, but then she operates our concessions and buildings throughout the campus year round. She has developed a business, started at local, started at small up in Carmel, and is now at this institution, and really important for us to thrive with a woman-owned business. Our staff itself is made up of 50% are African American, 50% Caucasian. We work really hard to make sure that this place is a mix of urban and rural, so it's open for and welcoming for all. So we train to that, we speak to it. It also, from a diversity standpoint, from our fair board and commission, it's also a diverse group of people. The property itself, when you think about concessions, I would also reference a couple of our concessionaire African Americans. One brand new startup young woman who has it's called Black Leaf Vegan Food. It's on the north side. And she is started out in last year was her first year. And it's a lot to be able to handle the amount of customers in these food concession trailers. And so she is learning the business, and what's been really fun and refreshing is the other concessionaires are helping her grow into understanding how to navigate with so many people at her door. This massive Fall Creek Pavilion, thanks to Farm Bureau, that is the title of this building, we'll open it next year. But in our master plan, we have so much more to come. We would love to make it more accessible by eliminating some of the curb cuts that we have out here. We'd like to enhance the fence line so that we're more welcoming for people to come in. We also have plans to renovate the grandstand. We have plans to make some enhancements on the north side and the DNR area, put in more water, put in more just customer experience areas that people will feel that they are truly valued and really welcomed when they're on the property. And that's really the vision for us going forward, to continue to preserve this historic institution and continue to make it better as we go forward.
When we come back, we find out why debt can be a good thing. That's this week's accounting and bookkeeping segment. Later, we talk to several of our contributors about why they believe it's good business to give back to the community. If you want more business equity and opportunities, check out our new podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. You can find out how to subscribe through the link on our website, beoshow.com. We'll be right back.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. Next topic, accounting and bookkeeping. Today we talk about debt. By simple definition, the money you owe someone. Small businesses are very familiar with debt, but our contributors point out sometimes debt can be a good thing.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, accounting and bookkeeping.
Marshawn Wolley, President and CEO for Black Onyx Management, explains why debt can be a good thing and with proper management can increase your assets and make it easier to get a business loan.
Only 1% of Black entrepreneurs will pursue a business loan in their first year, and that's really concerning because you really need capital to grow your business. So I know for me personally, it's been very important for me to be able to access financial products like business lines of credit and credit cards and things of that nature, because you just need those resources to get a business off the ground. And so that's something that I think is important and something that we need to be thinking about as a community. One of the things we found was that nearly 50% of Black people were either unbanked or underbanked. And that's a national statistic. When you talk to bankers locally, they think it might even be higher. What that means is you have weak relationships with financial institutions, and that has an impact on the ability to even, seek financial education because you don't know the questions that you should be asking. Part of this is connected to low home ownership rates, low business formation rates as well, and so there's just less of a need to actually ask for other things other than deposits. The other thing that we learned is that there's just weak banking relationships within the Black community in general. An FDIC study found that roughly 50% of Black people are either unbanked or underbanked nationally. We think that number might be even higher locally. One of the things that people don't realize is that debt is actually good for you. I had a chance to study business at the Kelley School of Business when I got my MBA, and one of the things they taught us in our corporate finance classes was that when you get a loan or you get credit, you're able to grow your business and you actually increase the value of your business. And so my hope is that when people hear this, they're not afraid of debt. They see it as a friend. They see it as something that could actually help them grow their business as opposed to just thinking about the fact that they have to pay it back.
And now, a Business Equity and Opportunities Extra.
Last week marked an occasion to network around the world without ever leaving Indiana for the Indiana India Gala. It was downtown at the Indiana Roof on Wednesday the 10th. Wish TV was the proud media sponsor.
The reason we started this is to bring the community together, that like-minded people who are doing business in Indiana, from India, and also Indiana companies who are doing business in India. So the trade has been increased tremendously. So there needs to have some get-together or where they can network, where they can celebrate, and where the community can come together. And also the business community needed a voice for their businesses, especially ethnic businesses in Indiana. It's actually on Friday we didn't know how many people will show up, but today we have 300 people and they're all going to be here. They're all going to dress for festivity. It's all about celebrating, and these guys work hard, and these business people who supported this, sponsored this event, they're all here to look forward to hear from us and also honoring the honorees for the Indiana Ratna Award, which means Jewel of Indiana, that they have helped between Indiana and India Bridge. This is going to be fun. It's all more about the celebrating together. It's celebrating our impact, the impact that we make in our community across Indiana, bring together networking, good food, dance, music, culture. So it's all bringing together and celebrating a night together. And the India Business Council is this is the biggest night for India business community.
Well, as someone who grew up in the Indianapolis area, it's just incredibly exciting. You see Hoosier hospitality on display. Of course, we're trying to showcase the city of Indianapolis and the state of Indiana as we try and draw in more foreign direct investment from places like India, a very large economy, and that can be beneficial to Hoosiers and all of our communities. We've already got an extensive Indian diaspora here, Indian Americans who proudly live here, many of whom are citizens, and we can build on that strength by getting investment from Indian business people that will grow our businesses and improve our lives. So it's important that the world knows that Indiana is open for business, and this is one of the great events to highlight that.
If you'd like to know more about any of today's segments or view our previous shows, visit our website at beoshow.com. You'll find many resources to help you create and run your own successful business. Also, be sure to sign up for our BEO newsletter to find out more about the business resources in our community. Still to come on Business Equity and Opportunities, we look at how some businesses give back to their communities. That's coming up in Running Your Business Day to Day. Business Equity and Opportunities will be right back.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. This week on Running Your Business Day to Day, we share some of our contributors' thoughts on the ways that helping improve the communities where they live can truly be good business.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Running your business day to day.
Successful business owners say knowing how to give back to your community is part of creating a success. Being socially responsible, they say, not only feels good, but can be good for business.
Whatever's going on in our personal life, it bleeds into our business. So what makes the She experience unique is this table that I'm standing at right now. Like, we sit down and we have coloring and conversations. You know, we talk about mental health things. We offer education here. Every Wednesday, we offer free classes to business owners. Every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we have a curriculum, you know, that we adhere to, and we also offer youth programs as well. So we have youth that are here during the week, and on the weekends, we teach them workforce development so that they are employable by the time that they graduate. We teach them business, how to, you know, create a business plan, a lean canvas, and we also teach them life skills. And when we dive into life skills, we really dive into the mental health, you know, component of that, to make sure that our kids are getting, you know, the resources and the help and that support that they need, you know, just to make it through every day in life, you know, because, I mean, we have our suicide rate that's up right now. So we want to make sure that, you know, not only the businesses, but the youth that we impact, that we're giving them exactly what they need. Other people should get involved, other businesses should get involved. It should be more than just a shopping experience or a vending experience or something like that. Like, there are other components to this, you know, that make our business successful, and mental health is definitely one of those things that needs to be healthy for us to be successful.
This is a camp put up by Amigos Latino Center in Richmond, Indiana, and is about exposing Latino students here to career path and careers in general. So when I was growing up, the person that taught me music was a missionary, and I used to help him out, writing letters, raising money when I was 11, 12. And that, you know, it was a passion back then because I wanted him to come back. That got the passion in me. So now, working for a nonprofit here, you know, myself and the staff, which is amazing, get to infuse that into the young souls here. It is so important because then there is no advancement. There is no moving forward for anybody, especially for organizations like ours, if we don't have people invested in it. Because when they give back to the community, they're helping the community, their own community, and people coming into the community is just so important. And not only that, to teach people, because when you do, you teach. There is a need there that they need to invest and they need to give. That's important. It doesn't matter how much. Just a little bit we do it. When I see students going to college or finding a career or finding a love they like to do, and then they help others. They have visions just like they did.
Still to come, our industry focus looks at the ever-evolving world of logistics. We talk to the owner of one of Indiana's top logistics companies. Kathy Langham shares insights into her industry. Coming up on Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. Stay with us.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Sander. Each week on Business Equity and Opportunities, we'll focus on a specific industry and hear from the business leaders about the current state of that business and what the future holds. This week's industry focus looks at the logistics and transportation industry, a business sector that has gone through huge changes and challenges over the last few years. Even now, with high fuel prices and new technologies, it's always evolving.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Kathy Langham is president and CEO of Langham Logistics, a woman-owned business that's an Indiana success story. She talks about the ever-changing landscape of the logistics business and where it's going from here.
I love the fact that people know what logistics means. I think as one outcome of COVID, a lot of people understand supply chain and logistics more than ever, and now it's a sexy thing to go in. You know, before no one knew what it was and it didn't seem that appealing. Now we have a lot more interest, and so that has attracted a lot of different sorts of potential employees, and it's just elevated the importance of supply chain. So I would say in the last couple of years, logistics has become a household word, and it continues to evolve and have tons of opportunity for entrepreneurs, for employees, and for our customers. Langham focuses in 4 main industries: automotive, industrial products, food, and pharma. And we've done that for a long time. In the last few years, we've had a special focus in the warehousing side of the business, especially in pharma and biotech and biopharma and all the related supplies that go with that. So we chose to take a business, a segment of this industry that had a higher barrier to entry. It's not for the meek of heart, it's expensive, and the quality levels are a lot higher than our core business. We still love our main business. You know, I wouldn't call it our main business, but our other business of automotive and industrial products and food. This pharma has stretched the team and provided a lot of great opportunity, especially in this environment where a lot of these sorts of companies want to reshore a lot of their raw materials. Where they needed 4 months of safety stock, now they need 18 months. Yeah, they've really got to keep an eye on things. They're not interested in investing CapEx in warehouses. They want to invest in manufacturing and doing things back in the domestic U.S. They want a good partner that can do the warehousing and distribution and transportation. Logistics is a very dynamic business to be in, especially now. Between COVID and countries shutting down, the war, fuel prices, backups at the ports, we're blocking supply chain, which affects everything we're doing, whether it's consumer products or building buildings or creating large molecule drugs. Yeah, everything's been affected. So we are at the center of all the madness that is going on across the world now. So we've got to really keep our eyes open to the pivots in the supply chain. What's working, what's not? Is China locked down? Have they opened up? Are we doing business with Russia? Are we not doing business with Russia? You know, we've got to keep our eyes on the geopolitical environment, as well as anything going on, and then pivot. if one port's shut down, another one needs to open. We need to pivot how we're moving that freight via ocean or once it gets here. Is it rail? Is it truck? Is it air? There's an opportunity for a chance, I'll say, for a port strike coming up in about a month. That will change everything again. So I think we really have to stay on top of everything that's going on and make sure we are making very good decisions with and on behalf of our clients.
Up next on Business Equity and Opportunities, Ashley Scott Martin, a local whiz in marketing, public relations, and personal branding, shares the story of her own personal success. Stay with us.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. We've covered several ways to help you create your own successful business. In our success story, we look for inspiration from one of our community's most successful business owners.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
Each week, one of our contributors shares the path that led them to the success they have today. This week, Ashley Scott Martin, CEO of Cerulean Consulting Group, shares her personal path to success.
I think I was born to be an entrepreneur. I really do. I have a memory, and my parents will confirm this, of being 3 or 4 years old and selling rose petals door to door for a quarter. If that tells you anything about the trajectory of my life from that point forward, I think that story is pretty remarkable. Not the whole rose, just one petal. And the fact that I was able to get my neighbors to actually purchase it for a quarter was mind-blowing to me. From there, we go on to not quite Girl Scout cookies, but other goodies like friendship bracelets and different things that I would make. And I just continued to really explore what that exchange meant. I'll never forget, in middle school, I sold chips out of my locker, not only to students, but also to the custodians and staff members. You'd think you'd get in trouble for something like that, but it was just a way for me to explore my natural gift. I have never been a pushy salesperson. I have never even considered myself being an expert in sales, which is very different from PR and marketing. But I later learned that PR is kind of how you manage identity, right? And as I grew in my development professionally, I started to understand that the problems that I was solving and the ways that I was positioning not only myself or the products that I had been involved with as a young employee at the local mall and other places, that mindset was very specific to PR. And marketing provided me the opportunity to reach people in high numbers quickly. So I was as a child, I was also a very empathetic child. I was very much about building community and social justice and helping people overcome all of their problems. And I knew that if I had an idea, or if someone that I believed in had an idea that I wanted to support, I wanted to get the word out about that as quick as I could. And that's how I became attracted to, actually at the time, it was print magazines. That was my favorite method of mass communication. I started to study the way the advertisements were written, the way the stories were written. I started to study the way that the book was laid out, from front to back, with the, certain advertisements being at the front and others being at the back. I started to understand the typeface and font differences and the color schemes and the branding and the events that the publication put on to complement their print publication. All of that was marketing. And at the time I thought, well, I want to be a magazine editor, or I want to be a journalist. I didn't realize that the business of marketing was actually what I was more attracted to. I always tell people everything happens for a reason, and I was able to connect with the individuals on our team. We have over 13 consultants that are around the country who work for Cerulean Consulting Group, several of which are based here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And we connected through past experiences. I had a business in the past called Cerulean College, where we help students connect with their natural hair and sense of beauty and identity. And several of the women that I met in that experience wanted to continue working with me to this day. From there, I just continued to attract those who were also interested in telling high quality stories about businesses and products and services here in the Indianapolis area and beyond. And because we had that common interest, because we had that commitment to excellence, because we had you know, that desire to really build community, we were able to grow together and eventually prepared to launch Cerulean Consulting Group pre-pandemic in 2019. When the world shut down, we just hit the ground running and it was on from there. At Cerulean, we focus strategically on building community. We believe strongly that we're better together, and by helping each other tell their stories and really connect with their audiences, we're able to help them grow. And so I want people to know that marketing is not complicated. A lot of times they overcomplicate things, and it's really simple. It's all about finding your tribe. It's all about finding those who are interested in what you're serving. And so we are simplifying that process for people by providing them access to resources through our graphic design team, our photography team, our videography team, our copywriters. We are one-stop shop. And so as a full-service marketing and PR firm, we really position individuals to excel. And that's how our commitment to our mission statement, "We're Better Together," really was born. It's about helping one another grow.
Special thanks, as always, to the contributors who joined us for this episode of Business Equity and Opportunities. A few things. You can find out more information about today's show on our website, beoshow.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments, each designed to offer topics of interest both to business startups and anyone currently operating a small business in our community. Topics always include new thoughts on getting started, how to access capital, the day-to-day running of your business, questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us every Sunday here on Wish TV at 10 o'clock for more insights into the world of small business and equity, with diversity and opportunities always in mind. You can also stream the show live on wishtv.com, see and use all of our content, and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. And starting now, catch even more in the BE&O podcast, updated weekly and found on the All Indiana Podcast Network. And be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter. That'll get you more valuable, up-to-date information every week. If you have any questions or if you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you.